In 2017, the United Nations convened a two-day summit in Kampala to mobilize funds to facilitate the fast-growing refugee population in Uganda. More than $350 million was pledged in support for refugee-centered programs in Uganda. However, a year later, the government of Uganda would show concern over countries that had failed to meet their pledges, making it hard for the government to continue with the commendable refugee response. This was followed by the dwindling donor fund, which saw World Food Programme start cutting food rations. In 2020, the United Nations World Food Programme warned that it would further reduce monthly relief cash in food rations for the 1.5 million refugees in Uganda then, due to a funding shortfall. With effect from February 2021, refugees parted with only 60% of a full ration, which include cooking oil, sorghum flour, and fortified maize and maize flour. A year later, the COVID-19 pandemic ravaged the world, making the situation worse. This saw donors channel funds into COVID response. Today, the Deputy Director of World Food Programme in Uganda announced that the organization is taking a different approach towards food relief support.
Previously, it was largely based on your refugee status. Now it will be based on your vulnerability as to the level of assistance that you will receive from WFP.
Pryor says a survey was carried out to ensure that refugee families that are now self-sustaining are removed from the grid. Should there be refugee families that will struggle after being taken off the beneficiary list, Pryor says they will be re-added.
New arrivals will be prioritized for a high-level assistance for a certain period of time to help them establish their new lives in the settlements. But then there will be other factors that we would take into account, such as female-headed households, particularly with no regular income, households who have people with disabilities.
The country director affirms that the organization's funding dwindles every day, threatening the operations and delivery of food supply to the refugees.
There's enormous competition out there for the pot of humanitarian funding globally, and we do expect to see shortfalls in 2023.
We are to continue with these rations throughout the year. The whole funding envelope for WFP Uganda would be approximately $160 million. Yeah? And for the next 6 months, that would be $80 million. Currently, WFP has roughly $60 million, which leaves us with a shortfall even going into March, where we could see drastic ration reductions.
World Food Programme currently provides monthly assistance in form of cash and food to an estimated 1.4 million refugees in 13 settlements across Uganda. Olivia Kumgisha, NTV News.